to me that you enjoy playing live more than ever. Is that your feeling as well?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Somebody said to me the other day, is this as enjoyable as it used to be? I said, I think it's maybe more, yeah. I think what happens is you sort of know a bit better how to do it, and as long as you're feeling good and energetic, you get over the nerves you used to feel, when you were younger and a little bit sort of apprehensive. Yeah, so I feel good. I'm having good fun on this tour.
I asked an old couple yesterday after the concert, how was it like? And the old lady said, it was incredible. When I looked at my husband, he looked so young. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's fabulous, the effect that the show can have on some people. You do see older people sort of dreaming, and they're going back, in time, and they're there, because this is like the nearest thing live that they can get to that, But I love it. Actually, it was funny because last night during one of the numbers that I normally don't get emotional in, there are a couple of emotional bits in the show, but this was just one of the old Beatles songs. And I looked out there and I just saw this rather dignified older man, and his grey hair, and his wife with grey hair, and he was just sort of holding her, and she was just swooning on his shoulder, and he was looking down so very proudly, and it really got me. It's like, I couldn't sing for a minute. It was like, just the emotion of that. It was like a fabulous little bit of movie, you see that. And it take me by surprise, It's like, God, don't look. I look somewhere else and just look at somebody who's just having fun. But no, it's lovely. I feel very good about that. It makes people feel good.
Is it more important for you now touring than make records?
No, I like both. I've always liked both. To me, it's just music, and it doesn't really matter how it comes. It can be me sitting at home on a piano or a guitar. It can be me just playing for the baby, playing a little baby song. But it's music, So. Or playing to a big crowd, or making a record. I love it all.
The difference between this tour production and the last one, Paul?
And not a lot. Mainly the screens are a bit different, and we have some interesting new songs in the set. One thing I like about these tours now is that I can choose songs from the repertoire, Beatles and Wings and solo. But it's very interesting doing the old Beatles stuff. Excuse me, but some of it I've never done before, and it's recorded a long time ago, and people know them well. But I've never had a chance, just because they never were in the Beatles set. We used to do about half an hour with the Beatles. We didn't do long then. It was like we were often on package shows. So we did a certain set of numbers, Twist and Shout, Long Tall Sally, but certain songs we just never did. We only recorded them. So it's exciting now. So that's what's different. I brought some of these songs that I've never done before. So you can say to the audience, you are the first people to ever hear this song live. It's kind of cool, And they go, oh.
Yeah. Like Helter Skelter, for instance.
Helter Skelter, yeah. I've never done that live. And it's an obvious sort of show song. It's a sort of rock and roll thing. And it sounds quite modern. Sounds quite sort of thrashy, But so we have, I think it's about 13 or 14 songs that weren't in the last show. That's the main difference. And then the visuals are a bit different, but we're the same.
Yeah. Do you want to continue touring?
Yeah, I think so. I think what happens when you get to my age, people say, it must be his last one, I just don't think about it. Somebody said the other day, is this going to be the last? I hear this is the last show in Germany ever. I said, oh, you do? I said, I didn't know about that. They said, the promoter said it was. I said, you know what? Sometimes people do that just to sell tickets. It's his last show, so you better come and see it. Yeah. But I don't do that. I think that's a bit of a cheat. So I don't ever think like that. No, I think I just enjoy it, and while I'm enjoying it, we're probably looking at doing another tour next year, just because the band's hot, and we're enjoying it, as I say. And it's a pity to just not work with a band when a band's good. It'd be like having Led Zeppelin together and thinking, no, we won't work anymore. It's like, come on, boys, give it a go. You're good. We like it.
Yeah.
And while you're good and while you're hot, it's good to get out there, I think. So we're enjoying it, and people seem to like what we're doing.
Projects. I mean, you write poetry, you paint, you make songs. How do you find time to all this?
I don't tour all the time. You know, I'm not touring all the time. If you look, people say, "Oh, you do so much, you work so hard." This tour now, it's only a month. That's very short. I mean, this is probably the shortest tour I've not ever done, but it's in a long time. It's a very short time to go out, a month. So I don't do an awful lot of work, and then I'll have a couple of months off. And instead of just sitting around all the time, sunbathing, I mean, I might like to do a bit of painting if I've got, you know, if I'm in the mood, just as a sort of recreational thing. Just it's another way of being creative. Or I can't help writing songs, you know, if it comes to me, or poems. You know, I might be lying in bed and you get some words going around your head. That reminds me, actually, I've got some words, so I must write them down somewhere. But you know, if you're creative, stuff comes to you and you can write it down, and maybe it's a poem, maybe it's no good, but I just write it down, then suddenly after a few years there's enough to show someone. So what do you think of these? I show a friend, and then it maybe becomes a book or something.
Have you written your best song yet?
I don't know. No, really, I don't know. I wonder, you know. I've written a couple for this next record that will be out, I think, next year, that I like a lot, that I'm quite proud of. And, you know, some songs are just special. You just feel good about them. And when you write them, you just think, wow, you know, did I just write that? It's like a mini miracle, you know. And I still have a sense of wonder at that.
Is it touring these days compared to 40 years ago?
You know, it's very different because the technology is the main thing that's different. And the crowds, you know, now it's more of all ages now, you know, whereas then, because we were the Beatles, a pop group, it used to be mainly young girls, actually, lots of young girls screaming, ah! But now it's like, you know, people my age, people their children's age and their children's age, you know, so it's quite across the generations, which I like. It's nice, it's a good mix. Good, it's like a party of generations.
What's the most emotional part of the show?
Normally the most emotional is when I do the two songs for John and George, really. I do a song called Here Today for John, which is written in the form of kind of a conversation to John Lennon. And that can get pretty emotional. It's very bare. It's just me on guitar and I'm singing to a friend who's passed away. You know, the whole idea of that is pretty emotional.
And All Things Must Pass as well, of course.
And then I do All Things Must Pass that I learned for the concert for George that we did at the Albert Hall. And I like doing that, you know.
I know you worked with Elvis Costello. Do you sometimes miss one to write with songs?
Well, the main person I obviously missed to write with was John, you know, because we grew up together, we were kind of teenagers together, and we learned the craft of songwriting together. And we made it very easy for each other, you know. It was really easy. I would go to his house or he'd come to mine, and we'd spend normally just about 3 hours, never longer, 3. And I was thinking about it the other day, we always came out with a song. Never once in all the years we wrote did we ever go, missed it that time. We always came out with a song. So that was great, you know, made it easy for each other. If he was stuck with a song, I could say, well, that's great, all that. And the logical thing is, why don't you go there? Or the middle should be like this. And the same with him for me. He would just look at it and say, oh, it's easy, you know, let's do this. And it's just a fresh point of view. It just took you over the hurdle, your little block. We never had blocks because of that. So yeah, I miss that. But then I worked with Elvis Costello, and he was great. I've worked with a few people. Elvis was good to work with. He's a very intelligent writer. But I think the top one has to be John. You know, that's
What's the best song that you and John wrote together, in your opinion?
I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. You know, it's difficult choosing. I always say it's like choosing between your children.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to choose a favourite because all the others will get annoyed.
Yeah,
All my other songs would be annoyed.
Yeah.
All me and John's songs. What's the best one we wrote together? I don't know. Day in the life comes into my head.
What can people expect in Norway on Monday when you play?
A good evening out, good fun, good vibrations, a bit of good music. We hope. We're coming to have a party, and we're coming to try and put on a good show. Norwegian audience is normally great. You know, we get on well, and they come to party. We've got a good show that we're proud of, so I think people can come for a good time. And
you're supposed to talk Norwegian.
Yeah, I will be speaking Norwegian.
Yes.
Come and see how well I do or don't. No, I do it before the show. You know, I just have a quick translation thing and just try and get good evening, hi, a couple of little things, and I just try and learn them up quickly and try and say some things because it's quite nice. You know, the audience appreciate because like English people never speak the language. And we're lucky because most Scandinavian countries speak very good English, so we get lazy. But I think it's kind of nice, if I can learn. It's good for me. It makes me feel like a tourist. I'm in the country. I'm enjoying the country. Why not learn a couple of little Hoffen, Hoffen, Hiefen? Those are 3 Norwegian words that you've never heard. Hoffen, Hiefen, Hoffen? Of course. But
Okay.
I like to do that.
We see you on Monday. Thank you very much, Paul.
Okay, Doug.
Yeah.
See you, folks.